everybody, this is Pam Sterling with the Outrageous Joy Raw Food Adventure, coming to you from Castle Rock, Washington, at the home of my mom and dad here. I'm taking a little road trip and spending some time up here. And tomorrow there is a potluck at the Senior Center, and I'm going to bring raw to the Senior Center in Castle Rock. So what we're doing is we're going to do my tomato corn salad with a macadamia nut cheese on top. This is super simple and something that even people who aren't raw absolutely love. So the first thing we do is start out with 2 cups of corn. There's a couple of ways. Fresh corn is the best way to do it. You can use frozen corn if that's all you have available. Now there's a few tricks to getting the corn off the cob. So probably the most messy way, but still effective, I like to use a serrated knife, and you can just run down the side of the corn cob and just cut off that corn. As you can see, it kind of spreads out all over the place. Probably not the most effective way to do it. Another way to do it is to put the corn cob down on your cutting board and just cut sideways like this. That's a little less messy, helps get it off the corn cob, and as you can see, that's pretty effective in getting it off. So that was pretty good. But my new favorite method, let me just put this in my measuring cup here. Oops. Alright. There's a new favorite method though, which is this great little doohickey device, which is my favorite new gadget that you can get at Bed Bath & Beyond or any kitchen shop, and it's made by Good Grips, and it's actually designed to take corn off the cob. And we're going to do that right now. So you just hold the cob up, and you just run this down. It's going to collect the corn in its little container. So we're just going to run this down the side. And it just takes the corn right off of there, and it is fantastic. I think this is my favorite gadget next to the julienne peeler that I use with my cucumber noodles. So you're just going to run it down the side. And this is a great summer salad because corn is so available and so delicious and yummy and sweet in the summer, and so are tomatoes. This makes an amazing summer salad and something that you can, you know, I just eat the whole bowl of it myself, but great to bring to potlucks and things like that. So we got all of our corn off the cob. We need about 2 cups, and I find that it takes about 3 cobs of corn to actually get our 2 cups of corn. So we're right at 2 cups. We're just going to dump that in our bowl. So the next thing is 2 cups of, I like the little grape tomatoes. These are very small. In fact, they're so small that you don't even need to cut them in half, but I like to cut them in half just to make them kind of more the size of the corn. So 2 cups of that. So equal amounts. If you're doubling this, you just make equal amounts of the corn and tomatoes. Then 2 of my favorite ingredients, cilantro and basil. And we're just going to do a nice chop through the cilantro and a nice chop through the basil. We're doing just a half a handful of each, and you know, my half a handful is like a full handful. I really like the cilantro and the basil, so I like to just throw a lot of it in there, and this gives it that nice green contrast to the red and the yellow, and also gives it a great flavor. So we're just going to throw some basil in there too, a half a handful, and these are fresh, organic basil leaves, and the smell coming off of this is just absolutely divine. It's fantastic. And we're going to chop that up and run that in there too, and that gives it a great taste. If you haven't had fresh basil in a salad lately, treat yourself this summer. Another great ingredient, very prevalent in the summertime, is fresh basil. It just grows like crazy. Now to this, oh, I guess I have to have one more chopping ingredient here. So you see that's starting to really be beautiful. And we're actually going to let this sit overnight, so it's going to kind of marinate and really get the flavors going in there. So the next thing we're going to do now is the green onion. Don't want to forget about that. And just take 1 green onion, just chop right through that. Oops, I don't want to get my finger. And throw that in there as well. Now our dressing on this is very simple. All we're doing is 2 tablespoons of olive oil and a tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon, and I'm just going to put my hand in the way there so that I catch all the seeds. So we're going to let the lemon juice go through, but not the seeds. There we go. Or you can do the Rachel Ray version. So Rachel Ray just squeezes it upside down. Kind of an interesting way to do it too. That way all your seeds stay, well, the theory is your seeds stay in the rind and doesn't get in your salad. Now we're just going to do some fresh salt and pepper in this. Actually, I'm going to do freshly ground pepper and a little bit of Celtic sea salt. If you've never used Celtic sea salt or Himalayan sea salt, this is fantastic. It's better than any salt you've ever tasted. It's full of minerals and it's just so flavorful. So we're just going to do like a half a teaspoon in there. Celtic sea salt tends to be a little bit sort of saltier, so you need to be a little bit careful. Sometimes I start out with maybe half of what the recipe would call for with normal salt, and then add more if it needs it. So that's our salad, and you can already, the smell is already coming off of this with the basil and the cilantro and the fresh corn and tomatoes. Is fantastic. Really, really smelling great. Now what we're going to make is a macadamia nut cheese. A macadamia nut cheese that's going to go on top of this. So the way we do that is we're going to get our blender going here. And into our blender, we are going to have my my Blend Tech. Can you see that okay? I have my Blend Tech, and I have 2 cups of macadamia nuts. I'm going to throw that in. And these are raw macadamia nuts. You don't want to get the salted macadamia nuts. And we're going to, again, chop through 1 green onion that we're going to throw in with this. And, you know, one would think that these ingredients just, you know, they kind of sound weird together, but the honest to God truth is this is amazing. I mean, I've had friends come and I've served them this, and all they want to do is eat the macadamia nut cheese. It's so good. So we're just going to do a couple tablespoons this time of the lemon juice. Okay, now what we're going to do with this is we're just going to pulse this just to give a grind and just blend the lemon. Oh, and then we want to put a little bit of salt in there too. I think she's checking the recipe to make sure I'm getting it right. We're going to put about a teaspoon of the Celtic sea salt in here as well. All right, so we're just going to pulse this now to blend it. We don't want to leave it mush. We want to leave it a little bit with some coarseness to it. You could also do this in a food processor if you prefer, or the Blend Tech works really well as well. So we're just going to put this in the bowl now, and I'll show you how that looks. So you want to leave it a little bit coarse, so that you've still got some, you know, some of the integrity of the nuts and some of the integrity of the onion as well. And I'm not going to put this on top of this now because I want to top it or set it to the, I can either put it to the side of the salad and serve it with the salad, or top it tomorrow right before we serve it. But oftentimes, like I said, people want to come back and just put more cheese on top. So here we have it. This is our corn, tomato salad with our macadamia nut cheese. Tomorrow we're going to serve this up at the Senior Center, and I guarantee it'll be a hit. So I'll see you next time with the Outrageous Joy Raw Food Adventure. Until then, be well and be joyful.